before I start, I want to clear the air about, like, people think I quit Stalcraft. I haven't quit Stalcraft. I just said I wouldn't be streaming it as much. Like, I'll still be making Stalcraft content and, like, talking to the Stalcraft community. I just don't see myself streaming it 8 hours a day. That's all. Because the only thing that's left for me is to farm serum, so I will be streaming other games. And Stalcraft will, like, stream-wise, will probably be a lot less. And by a lot less, I mean pretty much not at all. For the most part. But there will still be videos coming out. And so on. So. But yeah, so the issue that I saw was, so to give a brief rundown, is someone was banned for throwing bolts. Is what they were saying. However, they weren't banned for throwing bolts. They were banned for using a macro. Now, I don't know if people read the terms of service or, like, the rules. But using a macro is cheating. Or is considered cheating in this game. In some games, it isn't considered cheating. But in majority of games that are competitive, using macros are prohibited, and you will be banned if you use a macro. So someone's basically been permabanned for, you know, using a macro, and they claim it is just for throwing bolts. Now, I'm not, you know, the judge or the freaking jury here to say a permaban should be yes or no, but I did ask about it, and they were banned for using a macro. Now, if you may be against, like, the whole, oh, well, it's just a macro, you can use a macro in this game to cheat. Okay, you can use a macro for a lot of different advantages in this game, which are considered cheating. So if you use a macro, you should expect a ban. It is in the terms of service. Now, if you have been banned, and you know you've been using a macro, but you say all you were doing was throwing bolts with that macro, all you can really do is appeal. But however, you did use a macro in the first place, so you broke the rules, and you should expect a ban. I'm afraid. Yes. I'm not going to explain what you can do with a macro that you can, like, essentially exploit the game for your own advantage. I'm not going to give you a list of reasons why macros are banned, but they are bannable, and if you use one, you will be banned. And I think it's pretty dry cut, okay? If you considered using a macro for any reason, whether it's to get an advantage or not, knowing very well that it is against the terms of service and is bannable, and you get banned, unfortunately, you gotta live with it, okay? It isn't hard to not cheat, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. It's not hard to not cheat, okay? There isn't a reason to cheat. You shouldn't use any external software. You shouldn't need to use a macro. There's no reason for it. I stand by the perma-banning of people that are cheating. Because beforehand, there was people cheating that got 3-day bans, come back, they cheat again, everyone rage. More people leave when the cheaters are allowed to stay. So a permaban to me is a fitting, you know, ban. And it is what it is. But I'm happy that they are banning people that do attempt to cheat. Obviously, in certain scenarios, if it is just bolt throwing, I see how that can be frustrating, which is why you should appeal, okay? If all you were doing was throwing bolts, I'm sure someone with a brain will look at it and see, okay, don't do it again. But if you're permanently banned, there is most likely another reason for it as well with what you're doing with that macro. I don't know how they are tracking the uses of macros, but either way, if you don't want to get banned, it's simple. Don't use a macro. Don't cheat. You know, if you don't want to get permanently banned, don't cheat, don't use a macro, and I think it's that straightforward, and I don't really think there's anything else that needs to be said on it.